Hello there, and happy World Book Day 2021. Very special day today to remind us all of the importance and fun of reading. And the book I have chosen today is by an author who, in all honesty, I've not actually read that many of his books. I have read Billionaire Boy, so you may be able to guess the author from my title. But it's by the author David Walliams, who's somebody that I grew up with watching some of his comedy when I was younger. And I've only just recently got into reading some of his books. So basically, the book I've chosen to read is called The Boy in the Dress. It's a title that really fascinated me, actually. I did wonder what it was about, and I do remember one World Book Day it being whilst teaching at school. That there was a boy who came in wearing a dress, and he told me that this was a very special book to him. So it did intrigue me. I did want to read it. But for anyone who's never heard of this book before, it's basically about this boy who ends up going to school wearing a dress. Basically just because he likes the dress and he's wanting to try it out, really. So, I'm just going to give you a brief overview of generally what the book's about, and then I'm going to read you a little section of the book which I thought was really, really special. I love this book so much, by the way, that I actually managed to read the whole thing in literally 2 days because it was just so interesting. I thought it was wonderful. But so this book is about a 12-year-old boy called Dennis, and he basically develops an interest in dresses after he sees a magazine called Vogue magazine, which is a very famous magazine for fashion. And he sees a lady with wearing a dress, and he develops this interest in dresses. So he buys the magazine. He spends most of his pocket money to buy this magazine, and basically he takes it home and he reads it, and he hides it under his bed because he's a bit ashamed of reading this book. And his dad eventually finds this magazine, and Dad's not very happy the fact that Dennis is reading this magazine. He doesn't think that boys should read a magazine about fashion. So he basically just says it's not right and makes him throw it away. Makes Dennis very upset. But then later on in the story, he makes friends with this girl who's 2 years older than him, called Lisa. And Lisa basically is really interested in fashion, and she actually wants to be a fashion designer when she grows up. So she invites Dennis around her house and starts basically showing him some of the collections of Vogue magazines that she has, along with some of her own designs that she's done. So I'm just going to read you a little section from where that basically picks up. They sat on her bed together, slowly turning the pages. The first shoot was in colour, but featured dresses that were only black or white, or a combination of the two. "Wow, that dress is gorgeous," said Dennis. "Chanel is probably madly expensive, but it is beautiful." "I love the sequins." "And that slit up the side," said Lisa. She traced her fingers longingly along the page. What seemed like forever and a moment went by as they studied every page, discussing each detail of every dress. When they reached the end, they felt like they'd been friends forever. Lisa pulled out another magazine to show him one of her favourite shoots, or stories as she called them. It was from an old British Vogue and featured lots of models in wigs and metallic dresses. It looked like a scene from an old science fiction film. Dennis loved the extravagance of these fantasies, so different from the grey, cold reality of his own life. "You'd look stunning in that gold dress," said Dennis, pointing to a girl with similar hair colouring to Lisa. "Anyone would. It's an amazing dress. I could never afford any of these, but I like to look at the pictures and get ideas for my own designs. Do you want to see?" "Oh yeah," replied Dennis excitedly. Lisa pulled a large scrapbook from her shelf. It was full of brilliant illustrations she had drawn of skirts and blouses and dresses and hats. Next to these, Lisa had stuck lots of things onto the pages. Strips of glittering fabric, cut-out photographs of film, costumes, even buttons. Dennis stopped Lisa turning the page an especially gorgeous drawing she had done of an orange sequined dress. "That one is beautiful," he said. "Thanks, Dennis. I'm really pleased with it. I'm making it right now." "Really? Can I see?" "Of course." She reached into her cupboard and pulled out the half-finished dress. "I got this material really cheap. It was just from down the market," she said. "But I think it's going to look really good. It's a little bit 1970s, I think. Very glamorous." She held up the dress by its hanger. Although it was still cut a little roughly around the edges and had a few loose threads, it was covered in hundreds of little round sequins and twinkled effortlessly in the morning sunlight. "It's amazing," said Dennis. "It would look good on you," said Lisa. She laughed and held the dress next to Dennis. He laughed too, and then looked down at it, allowing himself to imagine for a moment what he would look like wearing it, but then told himself to stop being silly. "It's really beautiful," he said. "It's not fair though, is it? I mean, boys' clothes are so boring." "Well, I think all those rules are boring about what people can and can't wear. Surely everyone should be able to wear whatever they like." "Yes, I suppose they should," said Dennis. He had never really been encouraged to think like this before. She was right. What was wrong with wearing the things you liked? "Why don't you put it on?" Lisa asked with a cheeky smile. There was silence for a moment. "Maybe that's a crazy idea," Lisa said, backtracking as she sensed Dennis's awkwardness. "But dresses can be beautiful, and dressing up is fun. I love putting on pretty dresses. I bet some boys would like it too. It's no big deal." Dennis's heart was beating really fast. He wanted to say yes, but he couldn't. He just couldn't. This was all a bit much. "I've got to go," he snapped. "Really?" asked Lisa, disappointed. "Yes, I'm sorry, Lisa. Will you come and visit me again? Today has been really fun. The next issue of Vogue is out next week. Why don't you come over next Saturday?" And I'm going to leave it there because I don't want to spoil any more. But I really, really liked that chapter. That was my favourite chapter. And the reason that was my favourite chapter is because it really explores that issue of it doesn't matter what gender you are. You should be able to try whatever you like. If you're interested in something, it shouldn't matter if you're a boy, a girl, a man, a woman. If you're interested in something and you think it's a good idea to try it out, you should try it out, okay? It's a really important message, and it's something that wasn't really there when I was a child. If you wanted to wear a dress and you were a boy, that would be really, really looked down upon when I was younger, which is a shame because it really doesn't matter, does it? So, at the end of the day, if you do want to read that book, I highly recommend it if you're interested. It's a really, really good book. I might actually end up reading more David Walliams books now because I really like his style after reading Billionaire Boy and The Boy in the Dress. I think they're really good books, so I might have to look into some of his other ones. But yeah, thank you very much, everyone. Take care, and happy World Book Day.